NFTs are digital assets tradable on the blockchain that gained popularity in 2021. Since then, there have been a lot of scandals, controversies, and just interesting stories involving NFTs. Let's look back at some of them, going from the most well-known topics to more obscure stuff the deeper down the iceberg we go. The base for this iceberg was made by icebergcharts.com user Tsarbomba, and I added a bunch of entries to make it more interesting. The original iceberg mostly goes over basic stuff, like the most popular collections and marketplaces in the first layer, so I'll be skipping it except...
It's a really fun game that makes you money.
Logan Paul is a well-known influencer, boxer, wrestler and YouTuber with 23 million subscribers. He started promoting his own NFT project called CryptoZoo in summer of 2021, saying that it was a fun game and a fresh take on NFTs.
For the last 6 months, I've been working on my own NFT project that I believe is going to change the game.
It involved buying and breeding digital animals as NFTs. However, the game has never materialized, and people accepted their losses and moved on from it. After 1.5 years of silence, Logan was accused of scamming his fans and abandoning the project by CoffeeZilla in a video, putting the project back in the limelight. Logan initially denied the allegations and made a poorly received video in which he pushed the blame on his partners and developers, even bringing up criminal records from a decade ago. He also threatened to sue CoffeeZilla, but later retracted the lawsuit and apologized.
I suggest you use the money you got from pumping your Patreon to hire a good lawyer. You're gonna need it.
Paul promised to refund the buyers, and it took him a year and the whole internet clowning on him to do so, although some victims are still not happy with the terms of the refund.
Logan Paul is suing me for CryptoZoo only a year after he thanked me for it. Rather than pay back his victims fully, Logan would rather publicly humiliate himself in court by accusing me of defaming him.
The Red Ape Family was a comedy show and the first animated series built around and starring NFTs. It is set in the year 2130, when Earth is destroyed and the family of bored apes lives for Mars. It gained infamy after YouTuber Iceberg made a video critiquing the animation quality and writing. 333 NFTs of the first episode were sold by creators for 0.95 Ethereum each, or about $3,700. This was the main gripe in Iceberg's video. Zany Media, the creators of Red Ape Family, raised over $1 million on the primary sale, but didn't put anywhere near this much money into the show.
So what are my overall thoughts about the Red Ape Family? I'm pretty sure you all can probably guess. The story? Awful and virtually non-existent. The dialogue? Cringy and awkward. Just a bunch of NFT and crypto inside jokes. The characters? Ugly and unlikable. And then there's the animation. It looks cheap, low quality, and flat. It's weird because the animatic itself looks pretty competent with the concepts and the movement, but then you see the final product and yuck.
In the second episode, Zany Media made one of the worst mistakes out there. They started beef with a popular YouTuber. They introduced a character called Saberfat, which was supposed to make fun of Cyberspark. The community wasn't on Red Ape's family side, however, as today their first and second episodes sit on 95 and 94% dislikes respectively, with comments turned off completely. They released the third and similarly the final episode more than a year later. It gained measly 34,000 views compared to 1.2 million in the first episode. I doubt they will ever be able to rebound and create an actually good series because of the state of the NFT market and the reputation they gained of being an ugly NFT cartoon.
You think it's funny to take screenshots of people's NFTs, huh? Property theft is a joke to you.
One of the most common types of NFTs are profile pictures, or PFPs. It can be animals, humans, or any other creatures. It is a good way to create a sense of community between holders, and add an element of rarity to the collection by giving PFPs more or less rare traits. During the NFT hype, people began to put NFTs as the profile pictures on Twitter, at times without actually owning it.
What the fuck are you doing?
It worth you can have it as your PFP if you don't actually own it, and I'll sue you if you don't change your PFP jokes and memes.
Dude, I own this NFT. My lawyers will make an easy job of this case. Prepare to say goodbye to your luscious life and start preparing for the streets. I will ruin you.
This type of NFT is not as popular as it used to be a couple years ago, mostly because the project launching back then were purely speculative collection of JPEGs with zero plans for the future. Only a couple of them actually managed to find a revenue stream and survive. The Wall Street Bet's darling GameStop jumped on the NFT craze and created its own marketplace. Only a couple of weeks after the launch, an artist called Jules listed an NFT called Fallen Man, which was a Photoshop version of a famous photograph of a man falling from the Twin Towers. The NFT was sold multiple times and reached a price of 5 ETH or $7,500 before being pulled from the marketplace. This was probably the biggest thing GameStop marketplace is known for, as it faded into obscurity and now averages only $1,000 a day in trading volume, which is nothing compared to other marketplaces. This was one of the most recent entries. Fest 2023 was a second annual music festival put on by Yuga Labs, the company behind Bored Ape Yacht Club. All went well until the last day of the event, when several attendees and staff members started to experience disturbing symptoms, including eye pain, vision issues, skin irritation, and even temporary blindness. An investigation was launched and showed that installation of UVA emitting lights in a particular section of the event venue was likely the cause of the health issues reported by attendees. Thankfully, most symptoms went away and no serious injuries were sustained during the event. This entry refers to numerous iconic videos and images from late 2000s being auctioned off as NFTs. Disaster Girl, Crazy Ex, Bad Luck Brian, Shooting Stars music video and Nyan Cat are among the memes sold by original creators, all except Bad Luck Brian selling for around $500,000. Charlie Bit My Finger, another iconic and beloved video with 800 million views on YouTube, was taken down right after it was sold for $700,000, prompting a community backlash. The funds of the sale went to the boys' college funds. All of these sales were in 2021, when NFT were a new concept. As a result, these tokens pretty much have no utility and probably will never sell on the secondary market, leaving buyers with massive unrealized losses. In July 2022, Mojang, the developers of Minecraft, which is the most popular game of all time, changed the terms of service, prohibiting the use of crypto and NFTs in any community-run server. In the accompanying blog, we added these uses of NFTs and other blockchain technologies create digital ownership based on scarcity and exclusion, which does not align with Minecraft values of creating inclusion and playing together. NFTs are not inclusive of all our community and create a scenario of haves and have-nots. The speculative pricing and investment mentality around NFTs takes the focus away from playing the game and encourages profiteering, which I think is inconsistent with the long-term joy and success of our players. This was bad news for some NFT projects, especially NFT Worlds and Creedcraft. Each of these projects were previously building on the Minecraft ecosystem and had a use case for the game. They had generated tens of millions in transaction volume, but the price of the NFTs and tokens plummeted by 80% right after the announcement, although it has somewhat recovered since because of the rebrand and pivot away from Minecraft. Pixelmon, the NFT project, started in early 2022. It promised to create an open-world Pokemon-style NFT RPG game. It very quickly gained 200,000 Twitter followers after releasing a very promising trailer. Because of this hype, the auction ended at 3 ETH per Pixelmon, meaning that each buyer had to pay $8,000 for each NFT, and people behind the project made $70 million. A couple of weeks later came the reveal. People could finally look at what they paid for, and it wasn't pretty. Pixelmons were nowhere near the quality of a trailer, and the worst of them all was Kevin, a zombie-like creature resembling salad fingers. It instantly became a meme with people making fun of the quality of the art. At about the same time, Sleuths figured out that a 20-year-old Kiwi was behind the project.
This started as a passion project for me. It started small, it started slow, and but it quickly captured the attention of much larger and larger crowds in the space.
All those events combined sent the price of a Pixelmon down to less than a half on Ethereum. A lot of people lost a lot of money, some thousands, some even tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands. But guess who didn't lose their money? People who got Kevins. The ugliest NFT of the whole collection became a meme and was now selling for 3 or even 4 Ethereum, just above what people paid for Kevins during the auction, and 10 times more what the other Pixelmons were selling for. This story has a semi-happy ending. After raising $17 million at 20 years old and being doxxed and receiving constant death threats, the founder hired an actual game studio, and the actual Pixelmon game is supposed to launch in 2024. The NFT price reflects the effort. It is up almost 1000% from all-time lows, although it is still below the free Ethereum auction price. The NFTbay.org is a website created by Jeffrey Huntley. It is inspired by the Pirate Bay, a notorious online platform for pirating digital content. NFTbay stores more than 20 terabytes of NFT images that were created before November 2021. This project made fun of NFTs as a concept, showing how easy it is to download and keep the original media, while pointing out that most NFTs are just links to images hosted on servers that will go down one day. There was even an Inception-esque moment when Jeff released an NFT of the NFT Bay website, and then in turn pirated his own NFT. Nate Chastain is a former employee of OpenSea, the biggest NFT marketplace. As the head of product at OpenSea, he knew which collections were going to be highlighted and put on the front page. He took advantage of this knowledge, regularly buying up collections that were going to be highlighted and selling later for profit. In total, he made $40,000 to $50,000 off these flips. However, Nate's actions didn't go unnoticed, and even though he used burner wallets to purchase NFTs, he got called out on Twitter and fired. He was arrested 6 months later and charged with wire fraud and money laundering. Nate Chastain was convicted in May 2023 and sentenced to 3 months in prison, 3 months of home confinement and 3 years of supervised release. He's the first person to be prosecuted for insider trading of NFTs. This is probably the dumbest entry of this iceberg. Goblin Town is an NFT collection of ugly goblins that launched in May 2022. Soon after release, the goblin owners started creating Twitter spaces, where they'd make loud goblin noises for hours at a time, attracting thousands of listeners.
What's an airdrop? What the fuck is it? You mean the air plops?
Was it in Solana? Airdrop. Was it in Solana? What was it in Solana then?
What the fuck, Solana? So what? I'll show you a polygon. So what? Did you say salami?
This, combined with speculation about people behind it, raised the price of a goblin from less than 100 per to over 10,000 per goblin in a couple of weeks. Also a fun fact, one of these goblins appeared in the popular set flip game Only Up. Ryder Rips is an online artist and provocateur who has been accused of copying and selling fake Bored Apes NFTs. He launched his own collection called Ryder Rips Bored Ape Yacht Club in May 2022, claiming it was bringing attention to accusation that the original Bored Ape Yacht Club was promoting Nazi symbolism and spreading racist messages. He also used domain names and social media accounts similar to the ones owned by Yuga Labs, the owners of original Bored Ape collection, to make his NFTs. Yuga Labs sued Rips, alleging that he was infringing on their trademarks, copyrights, and trade secrets by producing and selling imitation NFTs that undermined the value and reputation of the original BAYC series. Yuga Labs sought damages, injunction, and attorney fees from Rips. In April 2023, a US District Court judge granted Yuga Labs a partial summary judgment, ordering Rips to pay $1.5 million and trusted the fake collection to Yuga Labs. It has also since been delisted from all marketplaces. This entry refers to the first ever arrest over an NFT scam. Frosties was an NFT collection that launched in January 2022, featuring colorful and quirky ice cream characters. It turned out to be a rug pull, because soon after the sale, $1.2 million that were raised during it disappeared along with Twitter accounts and a Discord server. A couple months later, the Department of Justice charged alleged Frosties founders, 20-year-olds Ethan and Andre, with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. They tried to launder the money through a crypto mixer, but then put the same money they just laundered into accounts on an exchange with their real phone numbers and IDs tied to them. Because of that, it wasn't hard enough for authorities to track them down, and both Ethan and Andre are still waiting for trial 2 years later. The funniest part about this case is the fact that they wouldn't have been charged if they hadn't made a roadmap. This is the end of layer 3. Make sure to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the second part of this video, where I go over deeper layers.